Hello and welcome back to another video I am making about a workplace I was at about 3 to 4 years ago called Viking Forge. I was hired in as a die repair technician. What that entails is repairing the molds that they use to press the parts in and repairing them, doing inventory, deciding whether we need more parts or not brought in, to replace the ones I used to repair the dies with, and also cleaning them, maintenance stuff. That's what I would do for the press operators. And I started there working first shift, training with the two old heads they had working there. One of them was called Franklin, and another one looked like Santa Claus. And I also started off with another new guy who's been there for a month. The new guy's name is Mark Garberinus, and he played an important role of why I left that place, so keep in mind that name for the future of this video. Mark Garberinus. So, the main issues I'm going to tackle were how dirty this place is, because yes, it is a factory, but they do not give you any uniforms until you've been there for about 90 days to 6 months, which is an issue because of the mass amounts of soot that you get all over you. You leave the workplace, your skin is absolutely black, and your clothes are ruined. Now, I went through about a dozen pair of jeans working in this place, completely ruined, unwearable, because of the fact that they did not want to give out any uniforms to the new hires. And so I was afraid, because they do have the options to have, like, you could go take a shower before you leave this place, so you don't track the soot and tar into your car, which I end up doing. My car was also ruined as well. My Chrysler 300, I ended up painting the inside black, and it didn't ever come out because of that. Now, they have options. Before you go home, you could take a shower. You could clean all this crap off you. But see, I'm a self-conscious person for a very specific reason of the fact that people are nuts these days. And to follow up with that, I was right to not take showers in this place because one of the guys who worked there with us, one of the new guys in quality control, I'm pretty sure he was in quality control, ended up texting about one of my other coworkers who was taking a shower before he was leaving during the day, talking about how he would eat him up and how nice of a looking member he had, to a woman, another coworker at the workplace. And so it was a big HR issue. The dude ended up getting fired for it. And that's one of the main reasons why I did not want to shower there at that place, because, like, people are just nuts. And so I'm going to tackle the main reason why I left this place. Mark Garberinus, who was there working with me at the time. So after a while of training on first shift, I ended up moving over to second and third shift because they needed backup on those other ones as well. They were understaffed. And so I went to second shift, trained with this old head named Dale, who came to work drunk, smelling like alcohol, and everybody knew about it too. That was a workplace hazard. You're working with someone who's drunk. Anyways, like I said, everybody knew about it, including HR. It's something that was widely known on second shift. because his wife died of cancer, and like they just wrote it off as an excuse. So it was okay for him to come to work drunk, smell like alcohol. And then after I went to second shift, giving back up to him for a little bit, after a few days or so, I switched to third shift, which was 11 to 7. That was the main shift that I worked on. And so this Mark Garbarinas dude, who was also new, about a month in before me, was working like 12 hours, 14-hour shifts. Now, this guy didn't really have a filter. He would come to work talking about his OnlyFans, trying to advertise it to us, his coworkers, which is disgusting. Decided to pull up his gallery and tried showing us something unrelated. But when he pulled up his gallery on his phone, um, I saw a whole bunch of nude pictures of him. It was disgusting. And I just couldn't work there anymore after that. I went and tried talking to my HR about it, and even the head manager of it, who at the time was pretty new at being a manager. And they all slipped it underneath the rug, acted like I was a crazy person, acted like, oh, maybe you were just hallucinating. So I ended up quitting after that. I couldn't work with somebody, and like it was just so gross. And I also couldn't work for a company that would just do something like that to one of their employees. And that was the main reason why I left. To this day, my bathtub is still stained with the soot and black tar that I brought home with me from work 3 to 4 years ago. It's still there. And I'm going to address the lack of safety again. So while I was there, I broke my thumb. You'd figured that they'd have me go to the hospital for it. But no, I came in 3 days later to a swollen black fingernailed thumb. And they didn't even address it. I had to suffer through the pain. I couldn't go to the hospital because of it, because it wasn't a workplace issue anymore. Since when I got injured, they kind of slipped it underneath the rug and acted like it didn't even happen. So I was kind of screwed. And there was also another incident where one of the quality control guys, who was new, decided to touch his hand on one of the 300-degree parts and get a third-degree burn. And like I said, there's no safety guidelines here or anything. And they have a safety guy there who was working there. His name was Nick. He had like one leg. Anyways, he was a complete dickhead. It didn't seem like he knew what he was doing either. And like as per usual, every single one of these workplaces, there's always someone new to management that doesn't actually know how to manage. And how I'm also going to address another issue here. When I was working on first shift, the same guys who would complain about one shift not doing enough work compared to another shift and bringing up the shift drama that I talked about, the same guys, Franklin and Santa Claus looking guy, would go out on smoke breaks for most of the day and sit out there in the pavilion smoking cigarettes instead of doing actual work, such as cleaning, organizing tools, or anything like that. Save it all for night shift. So that was another issue too that no one wanted to address, is that most of the guys on first shift, which is day shift, would sit out there smoking cigarettes most of the day. Since they're old heads and they've been there for 25 years, no one could say shit to them. As usual, every workplace, it's like a carbon copy of one of another.